Heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban. All right, look at the you was heavily infected. You would have been much later, Mr. President. You're talking about 2 million people. President, moderator. We're going to talk about COVID in the next segment, but go ahead. Let me finish. The point is that the president also is opposed to that's in the ballot as well, in court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is all right on the ballot. And why is it on the ballot? Because why is it on the ballot? It's on the ballot. It's in the court. Well, there's nothing happening there.
Jordan. It ain't 4 hours. Probably 2 hours at the most.
Mr. President, the Supreme Court will hear a case a week after the election in which the Trump administration, along with 18 state attorneys general, are seeking to overturn Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You expect that because that's going to give you over 4 years you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come with a plan, a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. Well, I got rid of the individual mandate. Excuse me, I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a big comprehensive. That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst part of Obamacare. I'll ask Joe.
Let the man answer the question.
We will protect people. You, in the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare, and just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
So, first of all, I guess I'm debating you now, Dan, but that's okay. Cutting drug prices and going to favored nations, which your president has the courage to do because you're going against Big Pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting out the things that we've done inside. When I give you an example, it's destroying families, destroying people because I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like, so cheap. Look at all of the drugs that we're doing, prescription drug prices. We're going to allow doctors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction. This is big stuff. The vice president, which is, he points out that you would like to have a public option for the argument that he made, the Republicans make, is that is going to end private insurance.
It'll set up a second and 7.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free. In those states, governments who want to deny people for Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicaid will automatically be enrolled in public housing. The vast majority of the American people would still not be in that option.
Joe, you agree with Bernie Sanders on the manifesto. You socialize medicine.
Look, here, and you see the fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders. I'm here standing face to face.
But in Zurich, you would have lost every problem.
This ain't no debate, bro.
Look, here's the deal. I got very lucky, and we were very lucky tonight as well.
So
And
unfortunately,
I'm not going to sure because here's the deal.
we get a timeout called on the
The fact
defensive
is
side
that
of the
everything
ball
he's
by the
saying so far
Panthers.
is simply a
They'll
lie.
have 2
I'm not here to
remaining
call
as we
it.
step
Everybody
aside here
knows he's a
in
lie.
this first
But you,
quarter.
I just want to make sure. I want to make sure.
Waiting for it back deep, Antonio Galloway.
I want to make sure that Anthony Levin's going to. He doesn't have
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. Gets out of bounds. Where they put it, just inside the 45-yard line.
You just lost. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
Oh my God.
Absolutely, do you have any idea what this is?
Uh-oh, he called him a clown. He called him names.
He is one
A shotgun snap.
because he is already has cost 10 million people.
Man, he motherfucking clouded, man.
So much for a great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
He wants to take it away. He wants to take it. Rookie 9 say that's what he wants to do. Take it away. He has never always probably does.
Negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. One of the things I remember about him coming out of school,
Excuse me.
pretty easily.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. We guaranteed pre-existing conditions. I took away the individual mandate. And that destroyed. They shouldn't even do it Obamacare. Then I had a choice to make. Do I let my people run it really well? Run it badly, they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me for more good. They will help people. Okay? I said, you gotta run it slower. And I just had a meeting with them. They said, the problem is no matter how well
And
you run
this, I
the
mean, it's certainly something to watch
it's a
out
disaster.
for. He is not
It's too
afraid to call
expensive.
his own
Your premiums are too high, and it doesn't
He
work.
takes it
So
for the
we do
Making
want
this
to
defense prepare all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Please. He has no please, he sends out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drugs costs for anybody. He's promising the health care plan since he got elected. He has almost everything else he tried.
And guess what?
He
It
does.
didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
Doesn't have a plan. In fact, he says this man doesn't know. Okay.
One final question. The president.
And the Chargers have taken a first quarter lead. And the Chargers grab a 7-0 lead.
There has been talk about ending the filibuster, or even knocking the court, adding the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction about the president, but the fact it wasn't brought up by the president, who was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues, is saying Congress. So my question to you is, you refuse to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or knocking the court?
That position you're taking, the issue is the American people should speak. You should go out.
Right here.
You won't vote in it. Vote in what your senators want. In fact, make sure you, in fact, let people know you're senators. I'm not going to answer the question because it's the question. Yours to yours. Of yours to yours. You shut up.
He has what you shut up, man. This is fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, I will.
They can't have a debate.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, the people understand that. If they serve you 7 years, you've got nothing. They understand.
All right. The second subject, COVID-19, is an awfully serious subject. Let's try to be serious about it. We have had more than 7 million cases of coronavirus in the United States, and more than 200,000 people have died. Even after we produce experts say that it could be months or even years before we come back to anything approaching. For both of you, is based on what you have said and done so far, what you have said you would do starting in 2021, why should the American people trust you more than your opponent?
Probably about an hour ago.
In this case,
Huh?
the question goes to you first for 2 minutes uninterrupted.
No, she shouldn't be.
Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards and keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going.
So means they got no live time good.
20% of the day. 40,000 people a day.
To Kelsey.
It is everywhere, bro.
Taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Wow, first and goal, and defensively, all they can do is shake their heads. Not only do they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
About between 750 and 1,000 people there died. When he was presented with that number, he said,
play really hurt. It's first and goal just outside the 5. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield. This might be a roughing.
It is.
It's not like that call.
The president has
What's your plan?
he knew all the way back
Critical mistake, roughing the pass.
What's your plan, though?
Zone for a Panthers touchdown. Devontae Freeman. His third touchdown now on the
He knew
year.
it was a
And the
deadly
Panthers
disease.
are now an
What
extra
did he
point
do?
away from tying
It's
up
on
this
tape.
game.
He knew. He said he didn't tell.
Good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7.
Hey.
As they kick it
People
away.
are worried because he didn't want to panic. You know,
This will make it into the end zone.
in addition to that, what did he do?
Be brought out. It's a touchback.
Right after this Madden game, I am.
The Charger drive about to get going, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got to the end zone.
Just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet, see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than you're trying to figure out how to fix it.
You're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press. So it's just fake news. They give you good press. They give me bad press. Because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just tell you something. I don't care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job. I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job. Well, you didn't do very well in swine flu. H1N1. You were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
13,000 people died, not 200,000 in the economic recession.
You made a point.
You made a point, but an answer.
And there was no one
7-7,
shut
our
down.
score after one.
This is his economy. He shut down. The reason it shut down was because, look, you folks at home, how many of you get up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to net and you were holding a phone so you could in fact say goodbye?
That is more people. And you would have been. And by the way, Slayer, his own CDC director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people.
Them boys ain't tried to play us all 2K, bro.
Just wear masks.
Oh, really?
Just a mask. In terms of the whole notion of the vaccine,
think so. One of my favorite coaches used to say, son, you can darn near lay
Well, we
down
trust as a scientist.
We trust Dr. Johnson.
And then let me move on to questions about the future, because you both have touched on two of the questions I'm going to ask. Focusing on the future for President Trump, you have repeatedly predicted
for a second, I just started.
Dr. Redfield said it would be before the vaccine would become generally available. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words. But Dr. Sloan, the head of Operation Witness, said exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the companies and it's a very political thing because people like this would rather make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer, I've spoken to all of the people that we have to speak to. We have great Moderna, Johnson, and others.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. That catch good for only a couple.
That's a good job. We do talk about the
I disagree with him. No, I disagree with nothing. And he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much similar. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the Secret Service where it's generally available.
What he said is the possibility that we'll have the answer before November 1st. It could also be after that. Well, we're going to deliver it right away. We have the military all set up logistically. They're all set up. We have our military that delivers soldiers, and they can do 200,000 a day. They're going to be listening. It's all set up.
Easter, this will be going away. The one another will be gone. You're right, it's like America. By the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it.
Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go for his progressions, find somebody before he knew it, he was on his back.
That just brings us right back to what you
Know what Biden said?
Every single thing is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning in the middle of next year to get it out. If we get the vaccine, and pray God we will. Thank God we will.
That's what President, I want to pick up on that vaccine soon. I want to pick up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying that public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked me. You pointed out he puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying you can't, Senator Harris is saying you can't trust the scientists.
No, you can't trust the scientists. But she didn't say that. You can't.
She said,
that's what he's going to try to do, but there's millions of scientists, thousands of scientists out there right here at this great hospital that don't work for him. Their jobs are independent of him. That's not, they're the people, and by the way,
To the scientists that are in charge, they will have the vaccine very soon.
but you believe for a moment what he's telling you, in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID. He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two, because guess what? A lot of people die. And a lot more than a die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot smarter. Did you use the word smart?
So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done. Let's say this to you. You would have had, let me just say something. You would have had the charge of what I was quickly at. I had closed the greatest economy in the history of our country. By the way, now it's being built again. So it's going up fast. Okay. It's going up fast.
When it comes to how the virus has been handled so far, The two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is going to affect how the virus is handled going forward by whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through some of the reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why so?
Because they didn't look right. If I were running, I know what the plan is. You've got to provide these businesses the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need. You have to provide them Nancy Pelosi. Please just shush for a minute. Tell it to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi should. The Republican Party is not serious. He sits on this golf course. I don't even think about it.
You probably playing it when I do, Jim.
What about this question of reopenings in the fact
he wants to shut down this.
Oh my gosh, that John was slow. What is he doing?
He wants to shut down the country.
Eating the kiwi. Yeah, she's saying no milk coming out of it.
Very, very wrong with them. We learned a lot. Young children are, even younger people are. We've learned a lot. He wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors all. One of the reasons they shut down is because they want to keep it shut down until after the election. Because it's a legal government. Those states are not doing well. They're shut down.
increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer. And in fact, recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching things. Are you questioning the mask efficacy?
I don't understand. If you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. The mask on, and I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and we've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to. But I wear masks when needed. When needed, I wear a mask. Okay. I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from me, and he shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Masks make a big difference. His own head of CDC said if we just wore a mask between now, if everybody wore a mask and social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters. No serious person said the opposite. No serious person.
Then he changed his mind. He said, "Mask, I'm okay with masks."
Subject because your different approaches have even affected the way that you campaign. President Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds together, thousands of people outside. Yes, sir, I agree. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with
nobody will show up.
People will.
Nobody shows up to his rally.
In any case, why you holding a big rallies? Why you're not? You go first, sir.
Because people really hear what I have to say. I mean, you're doing a great job as a president that 35,000 people show up at airports. In these airports, we have 800 people. Well, so far, we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside, that's a big difference according to the experts.
How is he outrunning that safety like this?
As you see, I mean, and literally in 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people sometimes. And a reporter came up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand back.
Wow.
Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. So that's what he said. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there. We have no negative to them. No negative effect. We've had no negative effect. And we've had 35,000-40,000 people on this well. Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled
the social distancing and people wearing masks, basically encouraging them to open the floor.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't move the kids, live on their clothes, live on the economy. The economy is, I think it's fair to say, recovering faster than expected from the shutdown measures in the second quarter. The unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve says the hit to growth, which is going to be there, is not going to be nearly as big as they had expected. President Trump, you say we are in a V-shaped recovery. Vice President Biden, you say it's more of a K-shape. What difference does that mean to the American people in terms of the economy? President Trump, in this segment, you go first.
So we built the greatest economy in history. We closed it down because of the China plague. When the plague came in, we closed it down, which was very hard psychologically to do. He didn't think we should close it down, and he was wrong. 2 million people will be dead now. Instead of still 204,000 people is too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened from China. So what happened is we closed it down. And now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down, he will shut it down again. He will destroy this country. We have a lot of people between drugs and alcohol and depression. When you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening in some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week, who said that. They want to open up in November 9th, because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people. People know what to do. They can social distance, they can wash their hands, they can wear masks, they can do whatever they want. But they got to open these states up. When you look at North Carolina, when you look at these governors that are under siege, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Colorado, you got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost, it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce, look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy will close down the whole country and destroy our country. Our country is coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does it. We don't need somebody to come in and say, let's shut it down.
All right. Your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you. As I said, posing the question, the president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires like him, during the COVID crisis, have done very well. Billionaires made over $300 billion because of his perfect tax they only focus on the market. But you folks at home, you folks living in Scranton and Claymont and all the small towns and working class towns in here, how do you do? This guy paid a total of $750 in tax. But
I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it.
I get my time back. The fact is that he is, in fact, worked on this in a way that he could be the first president of the United States to leave office, having fewer jobs in his administration than when he became president. Fewer jobs than when he became president. First one in American history. Secondly, the people who have lost their jobs are those people who have been on the front lines.
Oh, pick that.
Those people who have been out there dying. People who were putting themselves in a way to make sure that we could all try to make it. And the idea that he is insisting that we go forward and open when you have almost half the states in America with a significant increase in COVID deaths and COVID cases in the United States of America. And he wants to open it up more. Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of it? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis. And he has no intention of doing anything about making it better for you all at home in terms of your health and your safety. Schools. Why are schools open? Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely. You know, they were going to give, his administration were going to give the teachers and school students masks. And then they decided, no, couldn't do that because it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone. You ought to get on the job and take care of the needs of the American people so you can't open safe.
Your time is up, sir. We're going to get to the
I'm going to respond to that.
Well, you both have 2 minutes,
That's
sir.
on first down. That leads to a second.
So people want their schools, people want their schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want their state shut down. They want their restaurants. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town. I'm not sure it can ever recover what they've done in New York. People want their places open. They want to get back to their people. They'll be careful, but they want their schools open. I'm the one that brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. And
he brought back Big Ten
very
football.
proud of me. And you know,
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to your economic plans.
That's a damn lie.
At the moment, but first, Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, in 2017, your first year paid $750 a year in federal income tax each of those years.
There's a lie.
I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars in income tax. And let me just tell you, there was a story in one of the papers. I paid $38 million 1 year. I paid $27 million. Show us your tax returns. I went. You'll see as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. You know, the right here, after the Board of Elections, there's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under-leveraged because the assets are extremely good, and we have a very good, I think a specific question, which is, I understand what I'm asking. I understand I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017? Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars, and you get this here. And you get this here. But let me just say something. It was the tax laws. I don't pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is. You passed a tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We built the building and we get tax credits.
Switched it back on him.
On Pennsylvania Avenue, you get a massive, which it was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now, the man got fired right after that happened. But I got involved in a response.
The tax code made him put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher makes, the money the school teacher makes, is because of him. He says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And we're going to eliminate those cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need help. People out there need help.
That's a bad animation to put me in.
Because you are president, because you are the president screwing things up.
You are a senator, and the worst president
America has ever had.
Hey, Joe, let me just say, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe. We've done things we never even thought about, including fixing the broken military that you gave me. Taking care of the
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you your plans going forward. Because if President, your economic plan, if you were to be elected president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 trillion in taxes on individuals making more than $400,000 a year and on corporations.
Look like you are.
President Trump says that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of the recession.
Just take a look at what is the analysis done by Wall Street firms. Points out that my economic plan will create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years, number one. And number two, will create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth because it would be about buying America. that we're going to make this federal government spend $600 billion a year on everything from ships to steel to building to the world. And under my proposal, we're going to make sure that every penny of that has to be made by a company that's not going to start talking about taxes. By the way, we're going to use a significant amount of tax and make the corporate tax 28%. It shouldn't be 21%. You have 91 companies, in the Fortune 500, who don't pay a single penny in tax, making billions of dollars. Because you, in fact, passed that. That was your gas report. I got it done. And you know how we got it done. Our economy grew. It's never grew. They grew in the last.
Your free market approach, lower taxes, more deregulation, correct?
Not lower taxes, American people.
In Obama's, you talk about the economy booming, it turns out that in Obama's final 3 years as president, more jobs were created, 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery since economic recovery since 1929. It was the slowest recovery. Also, they took over something that was down here. All you had to do was turn on the lights and you picked up a lot. But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, it means jobs. It also means 401ks. If you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave. And 20 companies that are already here, they'll leave from other places. They will leave, and you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
Look, we inherited the worst recession, short of depression in American history. I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it. It wasn't easy. He blew it.
It was the weak street Lazarus.
Is it fair to say he blew it when there was record unemployment before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went in the hole. Manufacturing went in the hole. Excuse me. Number two. Number three.
Chris, they said if we to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing. We were not standing fair.
I'm the guy who totally gave up on manufacturing. We brought back, I was asked to bring back Chrysler's brought back building in the state of Ohio and Michigan. He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're gone.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
It's not
Many
true.
car companies came in from Germany, from Japan, went to Michigan, went to Ohio, and they didn't come in right now.
And so when you take a look at what he's actually done, he's doing very little. His trade deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. He talks about the art of the deal. China perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before. We have the highest trade deficit.
China ate your lunch. That ate 10%. And China ate your lunch, Joe. And no wonder your son goes in and takes out billions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also, so while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with none of that? $183,000.
None of that is true.
Well, he didn't make that.
It's totally discredited. And by the way,
He didn't get $3.5 million, Joe? He got $3.5 million.
It is not true.
Mr. President, it's an open discussion. Please, it's a fact. Well, there's an issue. It's been totally an answer.
This motherfucker here, bro.
$183,000 a month.
You can't have a silver color.
No experience in energy.
Charger drive about to get going.
Mr. President.
As they start
He
things
doesn't want to because he knows that I have the truth. His position has been totally disproved in the media by everybody. Well, by the media, by
That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards.
by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even the people who testified under oath. So let me answer this. We got 3 million outside this guy. He testified under oath in his administration. So I did my job and I did it very well. I'll give you the list of the people who testified. I'll show you that you've already thought most of them because they did a good job.
Some people don't.
Well, here's it.
Well,
it's hard to get anybody with this team. Excuse me.
No. Mr. President.
He's out of
Why did he deserve 3.5 years?
Here's the deal. We want to talk about families and ethics. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family we can talk about all night. His family's all family.
My family lost a fortune coming down and helping us with government.
This is not about my family, his family. It's about your family. In America, he doesn't. That's not true. It doesn't want to talk about what you need. You, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about. You should.
That's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
Let's be honest, it's a very important to be honest.
No.
$1 billion.
No.
Why should that be different than the two of you? So here's the deal. We have the top 6 segments. We've ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President, you can say anything you want. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead. But I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do it. But frankly, you've been doing more interruptions.
That's all right, but he does good.
Less than you have. Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yes.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for Black Americans than any president, with a possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to bring our equity for everyone, equality for the whole America. But we've never accomplished it. We've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the race is when those people, close your eyes, remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, spewing, and just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. And you know who got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said, we're very fine people on both sides. No presidents ever said anything like that. Second point I make is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, and the military orders tear gas on him, so he could walk across to the church and blow up the flags. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that great church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said,
That's my thing about like Pat being over there all the time. That shit probably won't buddy. You never know. Just saying, you never know though. That's, you know, that type of shit. I'm saying they ain't got nothing to do with what you're saying.
They don't like to step in. You know, this Butch House.
I thought they liked it. I thought they paid everything.
They hear it and they like it.
and if it doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the 1 in 5 were killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is a savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. The fact is that you have to look at what he's talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
So, in fact, why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with race?
Did a crime bill, 1994. Where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators. And they've never forgotten that. They've never forgotten
He didn't say that.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator. And I'm letting people out of jail now that you've treated the African American population community, you've treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990s, and that's why if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time because they saw what you did. You called them super predators, and you've called them worse than that. Because you look back at your testimony over these, you called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals. Total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Jeff? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Brooklyn, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands.
You dropped it?
Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't. The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left, and they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe, to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
All right. I want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand jury in the Breonna Taylor case, decided not to charge any of the police with homicide. You said it raises the question, quote, whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there's a systemic injustice in this country, in education, in work, and in law enforcement, and the way in which it's enforced. Remember, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day and take care of us. But there are some bad apples. And when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do is trust the United States is call together an entire group of people.
Who was that talking?
Well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers to the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out. We're going to work this out so we change the way in which we have more transparency when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it, but we have to have a system where people are held accountable. And by the way, violence in response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
What is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of the town and burn down your stores and kill people?
That's violence, fool.
You say it is.
I do not try to continue to issue of this month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane. That it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place. And you know, and so does everybody else. And you would know.
What is our concern with racial sensitivity training?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of universal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and frankly very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. You just, he's a racist. You just, here's the deal. I know a lot more about it.
Let him finish.
The fact is that there is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what is sensitive, what is demeaning to them. It's important that people know they don't want to. Many people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it makes a big difference. It makes a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem. It's a little bit like how this guy and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grow up with scream. They look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different color. In fact, we're all Americans. The only way we're going to bring this country together is bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do if we do it together. We can take this on and we can defeat racism.
President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous division. There was hatred. You look at Ferguson, you go to many places. Look at Oakland. Look what happened in Oakland. Look what happened in Baltimore. Look what happened frankly, it was more violent than what I'm even seeing now. But the reason is that the Democrats that run these cities don't want to talk like you about law and order. You still haven't mentioned. Are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow
in favor of law and order? Go ahead.
Let him finish.
This is law and order.
Law and order and justice, where people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is, violent crime is down 17%, 15% in our administration. It's gone up on his watch.
Down much more. He has.
Freaking hold him.
Democratic-run cities.
There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue?
You could bring in a couple of examples. Where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot. We look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything. The numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%.
That's all politics is, bro.
It's crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters. And once he does that, it's over. But if he ever got to run this country, and they ran it the way he would want to run it, we would have, our suburbs would be gone. By the way, our suburbs would be gone, and you would see problems like
no suburb unless you took a wrong turn.
I know suburbs.
This is not 1950. All these dog whistles and races don't work anymore. Suburbs are by and large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and or black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a threat to the suburbs and their safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure to deal with the environment. They're being flooded. They're being burned out because he has refused to run. That's why the suburbs are in trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order now. And in the joint recommendation of the Biden, Bernie Sanders task force about, quote, reimagining police. Therefore, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support it? Let me finish the question. What does reimagining policing mean?
I'm talking about right now.
Do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
What I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers. As a matter of fact, local police, even when defunding them, his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. And so we have to be...
That's not what they're talking about, Chris. That's not what
that's exactly the funding. That is not true.
He doesn't have any law.
He
has no law enforcement. That's not Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you.
We have time. We don't have time to do anything.
Name one law enforcement group.
Come on, man. Why y'all putting me in that?
Which is the issue of
in great position.
That have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree, you talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is...
How you get that boost?
Earlier tonight, you said that you are the Democratic Party right now. Have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, we got to stop this, bring in the national...
Oh, good pick. More?
But you'd stop the days and months of violence.
I am a former vice president. I've made it clear. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted. Anyone who commits it should never call for the people.
Excuse me, sir. You never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call us the National Guard and not work 100 days of life.
They can, in fact, take care of it if you just stay out of the way. Look here.
Here's get the killer of a young man in the middle of the street. They shot him for 3 days. President Trump didn't do anything. The U.S. Marshals taking care of business.
And by the way, his own famous spokesperson said, riots and chaos and violence help us cause. What if this is all about anyone? Kellyanne Conway, I don't think she said that. And so here's the point. The point is that that's what he was keep trying to rile everybody on. He doesn't want to calm things down. Instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just pours gasoline on the fire, constantly, at every single solitary
And this, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly, as I have to answer his statement, you've been talking to me. I'm asking you, I would love to know, sir. I would love to, and you know, if you want to switch seats, very quickly, they can do that, but I'm saying
the National Guard, it would be over. There'd be no problem. Okay. But they don't want to accept the National Guard.
You have repeatedly criticized the Vice President for not specifically calling out Antifa and other extremist groups. But are you willing to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing.
Oh, Lord. You can't do it.
What are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything I want to see.
Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa.
He would not do it.
This is a Antifa's an idea, not an organization. You got it. Here's an idea. His FBI director. Well, then we're done so. An idea. Administration tells you the truth is a bad idea. Antifa is a danger.
President, though, they say he won't speak on the white supremacy.
Attacking at all times.
This is white supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization. You get it. That's an idea. His FBI director. Well, then we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next part. His an idea. Administration tells you the truth is a bad idea. No idea. Antifa is a danger. They'll overthrow you. President seeks a second term. Generally a referendum on disruptor. Your dad's saying, which is, don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, you are the alternative. Looking at both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over the Republican in this segment? President Trump, you've got first 2 minutes.
Because there's never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 4.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax, and we saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these things, where I had to fight both flanks and behind me and above, there has never been an administration that's done what I've done. The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers. Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling and they were saying, it's time maybe. And then what happened? We got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things. A fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating of our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges, Court of Appeals judges, 300, hopefully 3 great Supreme Court judges. Justice is a record
Man, this is not hilarious.
Sack back at the 31. You never want to give up a sack from the O-line's perspective. For several reasons, especially because
this fucking Trump is outrageous. And Biden's slow ass ain't capitalizing. But he can't halfway talk because Trump got this interrupting every goddamn thing.
You can't be inside the 15 down to 14. It gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term. 300 judges, it's a record.
Why were they clicking on offense?
Why should voters?
All right, big dog.
This president, we become weaker, poorer, more divided, more violent. When I was we inherited a recession. I was asked to fix it. I did. We left him a booming economy, and he caused a recession. With regard to
I'm also glad that nigga gone.
the fact is that I've gone head-to-head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to be saying the bounty on the heads of American soldiers. His son got $1 billion.
There you go about his son.
Mr. President, your campaign agreed
Both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it. And why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word.
No, I'm not actually.
You got back 30 seconds.
Yes,
all right. So, third, billionaires are not much more wealthy by a tune of over $300 to $400 billion more just since COVID. You were told you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to